The galaxy had known peace for 300 years. Not the kind of peace that comes from understanding or respect. This was the peace of fear. The Velthrani collective had ruled through whispers and lies for longer than most species could remember. They controlled the information networks that connected 1,000 worlds. Every news feed, every historical archive, every educational system answered to their council of voices. Admiral Helena Vance stood on the bridge of the Terran battleship Unconquered Spirit. She watched the blue light of hyperspace flow past the observation windows like a river of stars. Her jaw was tight. Her eyes were cold. In her hand, she held a data tablet showing the latest broadcast from Velthrani space. The broadcast claimed that Terran soldiers had massacred innocent civilians on the colony world of New Eden. It showed footage of burning buildings and crying children. It showed bodies in the streets and desperate survivors begging for mercy from armored soldiers wearing the Terran eagle on their shoulders. Every single frame was a lie. Helena had been there. She knew the truth. Her forces had arrived at New Eden to find the Velthrani themselves burning the colony. The massacre was their work. The soldiers in the footage were stolen armor. The entire operation was designed to turn the galaxy against humanity before humanity could reveal what the Velthrani really were. Slavers, murderers, manipulators who had kept dozens of species under their control through carefully constructed fear. "Admiral," said Commander Marcus Chun from the tactical station, "we are 30 minutes from the Velthrani home system. The fleet reports ready for combat." Helena nodded slowly. Behind the Unconquered Spirit flew 47 warships. Each one carried weapons that could crack a planet open. Each one was crewed by men and women who had volunteered for this mission knowing they might not return. The Velthrani collective had spent decades telling the galaxy that humans were monsters. Savage beasts from a death world who knew nothing but violence and destruction. They painted humanity as the great threat to galactic civilization. They used this fear to justify their own control. After all, someone had to protect the innocent species from the Terran menace. The lies had worked for a long time. Humanity had tried diplomacy. They had tried sending evidence of Velthrani crimes to neutral parties. They had tried everything peaceful. Nobody believed them. The Velthrani controlled the information. They decided what was true and what was false. They had been doing it for so long that most species could not imagine any other reality. So humanity had decided to speak in a language the galaxy could not ignore. "Force, drop us out of hyperspace," Helena ordered. "All ships, combat formation. Prepare for immediate engagement." The blue light vanished. The stars returned. And before the Terran fleet hung the jewel of the Velthrani Empire. Their homeworld of Velthra Prime was a beautiful planet of purple oceans and golden continents. Massive orbital stations surrounded it like a crown of metal and light. Defense platforms bristled with weapons. A fleet of 300 warships moved to intercept the human invaders. The Velthrani commander appeared on the communication screen. His face was long and elegant. His skin was pale blue. His eyes held the absolute confidence of someone who had never truly been challenged. "Terran vessels," he said smoothly. "You have entered sovereign Velthrani space. This is an act of war. Stand down immediately, or you will be destroyed. The galaxy will witness your aggression and understand at last the threat you represent." Helena smiled. It was not a friendly smile. "My name is Admiral Helena Vance of the Terran Imperial Navy," she said. "I am here to deliver a message. Your lies end today. Your manipulation ends today. The truth will be spoken, and your people will hear it whether you like it or not." The Velthrani commander laughed. "You bring 40 ships against 300? Against our defensive platforms? Against the greatest military force in the galaxy? This is suicide, Admiral. But please, continue. Your destruction will make excellent propaganda." Helena turned to her communications officer. "Lieutenant Torres, begin the broadcast. Throughout the Velthrani system, every screen flickered, every communication device activated. Every entertainment system switched to the same channel. The face of a young Velthrani woman appeared. Her name was Selith. She had been a slave on a Velthrani mining colony before Terran forces liberated her world. She began to speak. She told the truth about the Velthrani collective. She described the slave camps where non-Velthrani species worked until they died. She showed footage recorded by Terran soldiers during liberation operations. Real footage, unedited, undeniable. She showed the bodies of children worked to death in underground mines. She showed the breeding facilities where valuable species were forced to reproduce for the slave markets. She showed the execution pits where anyone who questioned Velthrani authority was disposed of. The Velthrani commander's face went pale. Cut that transmission. Jam their signal. His officers scrambled to obey. But Terran electronic warfare systems were the best in the galaxy. The signal could not be stopped. You cannot silence the truth forever, Elena said. Your own people are watching. Your subject species are watching. The entire galaxy is watching. Every lie you have ever told is being exposed right now. The Velthrani fleet opened fire. Energy beams crossed the void. Missiles launched in swarms. The defensive platforms added their own fury to the assault. The Terran fleet moved like dancers in a deadly ballet. Their shields flashed and flickered as enemy fire struck home. But they did not break formation. They did not retreat. The unconquered spirit shuddered as a beam struck her port side. Damage reports flooded in. Helena ignored them. Return fire, she ordered calmly. Focus on their command ships. Show them what Terran weapons can do. The galaxy had never seen humanity truly fight. The Velthrani had made sure of that. Every conflict had been small. Every battle had been contained. They needed humanity to seem threatening but never actually demonstrate what they could do. That ended now. Terran railguns fired projectiles at a fraction of light speed. Plasma torpedoes burned through shields like paper. Point defense systems created walls of death that enemy missiles could not penetrate. The first Velthrani command ship exploded in a bloom of white fire. Then the second. Then the third. The Velthrani formation began to waver. These were ships crewed by beings who had never faced a real enemy. They had spent centuries bullying weaker species. They had never fought someone who could hit back. Meanwhile, the broadcast continued. More survivors spoke. More evidence was shown. The truth poured out like water from a broken dam. Helena watched the battle unfold with cold satisfaction. Her fleet was taking damage. Several ships reported critical systems failing, but they were winning. Against the odds of 7-1, they were winning. A priority communication came through from one of the Velthrani orbital stations. It was not military. It was civilian. Terran Admiral, said a frightened voice. We are receiving your transmission. We have seen the evidence. Many of us did not know. We were told these things were necessary. We were told the other species were dangerous. Please. We are not all monsters. Helena considered for a long moment. Then prove it. Open your communication networks completely. Let every species under your control speak freely. Let the truth flow without restriction. The military will try to stop us. Then you have a choice to make. Remain slaves to your own lies. Or help us set the galaxy free. There was silence. Then the communication ended. Across Velthra Prime, lights began flickering in government buildings. Communication towers that had been controlled by the military suddenly went independent. Civilian technicians risked their lives to keep the broadcast running. Some were killed by security forces, but for every one who fell, 3 more took their place. The Velthrani people were finally learning the truth about their own government, and they were angry. Admiral Helena watched as the enemy fleet began to fracture. Ships turned on each other. Some tried to flee. Some surrendered. The coordinated defense had become chaos. She had not come to destroy the Velthrani. She had come to break their stranglehold on truth. The Council of Voices sent a frantic message demanding negotiations. Helena refused. She demanded nothing less than complete surrender and the dismantling of their propaganda apparatus. They refused. So she ordered her fleet to destroy every orbital station that served as a communication control center. One by one, the chains that bound the galaxy's information networks were broken. It took 12 hours. The Terran fleet lost 11 ships. Thousands of soldiers died. But when the sun rose over Velthra Prime the next day, something had changed. For the first time in 3 centuries, the species of the galaxy could talk to each other directly. They could share their experiences without Velthrani filters. They could compare notes and discover how thoroughly they had been manipulated. The rebellion began within days. Helena stood on the bridge of the unconquered spirit as her battered fleet withdrew from Melodrai space. Behind her, an empire was falling. Not because of military conquest, but because the lies that held it together had been exposed. Commander Chun approached her with a data tablet. "Admiral, we are receiving messages from across the galaxy. Dozens of species are thanking us. Some are asking for help against their Velthrani governors." Helena took the tablet and scrolled through the messages. Her expression softened just slightly. "The Velthrani spent decades telling everyone we were monsters," she said quietly. "They tried to make the galaxy fear us. And now?" Helena looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, billions of beings were waking up to a new reality. A reality where truth mattered more than propaganda. Where action spoke louder than lies. "Now they know the truth," she said. "Humans are not monsters. We are something far more dangerous to tyrants and liars." "What is that, Admiral?" Helena smiled. This time, it reached her eyes. "We are people who refuse to let evil hide behind pretty words." The Velthrani believed they could control reality by controlling information. They forgot one simple thing. Eventually, someone will come along who cares more about the truth than about playing nice. She straightened her uniform and turned back to the business of commanding her fleet. "Set course for the Terran border. We have a lot of work ahead of us. The Velthrani collective is falling, and we need to be ready to help build whatever comes next." The unconquered spirit turned toward home. Behind it, the fires of revolution were spreading across 100 worlds. The age of lies was ending. The age of truth had just begun. And humanity had proven something important to the galaxy. Propagandists might spread lies. But when the truth needed to be heard, when the innocent needed champions, when someone needed to stand against the forces of darkness and deception, humans would answer the call. Not with pretty words or diplomatic protests, but with ships and soldiers and the unshakable belief the truth was worth fighting for. The galaxy would remember this day. Not as the day humans proved they were dangerous, but as the day humans proved they were exactly the kind of dangerous the galaxy needed.